is it doesn't have as its object rupa or a Dhamma, but concept. And I remember that Ajahn said once, even thinking needs nutrition. So, Ajahn, could you talk a little bit about thinking?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you clearly, Ajahn.
Okay, there is thinking just right now, isn't it? There is seeing and there is thinking. But we have to understand from the very beginning, is it real thinking?
Thinking is real, but the object is not real.
What object of thinking?
Concept.
Yeah, but after seeing, there must be bhavanka in between, and then the process of mind or experience the same object as seeing. See, that's why mind can experience all kinds of Dhamma. But when we talk about thinking, the object of thinking is usually something known as story, situation, people, and on and on. But it's time to think of that which has been seen. Is that right? It's now. There is thinking of that which has been seen.
Yes.
So there are many kinds of thinking. So the understanding of thinking is moment when it's not seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and bhavanka. Because the citta, which performs the function of bhavanka, is just exactly the same as patisanti citta, conditioned by karma to keep on. As at one moment of birth, it arises instantly from then on until death, interrupted by moment of seeing or hearing or smelling or tasting or touching and thinking. Moment of not seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. Only that. No one. Is it now?
Yes.
Thinking, hearing, and thinking without seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. That's all. No one can stop the way it is.
As you said, Gabby, usually there's a lot of thinking about the past, what has gone on, about anxiety or what should or shouldn't have been done or what happened and so on, and dreaming about the future. So the Buddha stressed, forget about what's gone and the future hasn't come. Understand what is now, what is appearing now, because life is just for a moment. So all that anxiety and worry about what's gone or what may come later is just thinking of ideas that are so unhelpful. What about now? What about the seeing now, the hearing now, or understanding, thinking? It's just a Dhamma, a citta now that arises and falls away. So there can be thinking about anything, thinking about realities, thinking about thinking. Thinking is a Dhamma, it's a citta. Thinking about the visible object just seen or the sound. These are realities, or thinking about ideas. What will become of me? What shall I do? What if I get sick? So it's just endless thinking. So there has to be thinking, but there can be understanding here and now that it's just a Dhamma, not my thinking.
seems
It's
to me
the
that...
reality. Yeah, please go on, Kun John.
Sorry, Ajahn, please go on. I'll just make a brief comment. It seems to me that there's only so much thinking about the sensed or impressions can be done, but the rest of the time is going to be thinking that's not directly related to the sensed or impressions. And that kind of thinking will be governed by our accumulated tendencies, our interests, our fears, our attachments, our tendencies to worry or to expect or whatever. So the general, what can we call it, delirious thinking that goes on all the time, not related to what's currently being experienced through the sense doors, is with us for forever. So it's not to be a cause of concern, but of course it's sometimes not very pleasant thinking. We have a tendency to think over and over the same thing or to worry about the future. But that's just the way it is. The reality of the situation is always the same thinking. It has a particular characteristic which can be known, but what can be done about it? Really nothing. Thanks. Yes, please go ahead, Ajahn.
Mm-hmm. And there can be a little more considering about thinking right now, whether it's the reality which experiences the object, like seeing, but the object is not that which impinges on the eye base. But the reality, a reality arises and experience an object. For example, moment of thinking, it's a reality. Things, experience what I thought about instantly, just like seeing arises to see that which impinge on the eye base. So there must be the reality which arises and experience the object by different conditions. But the characteristic, the nature of it, is a reality which experience an object, no matter it's seeing or hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking. The reality which arises and experiences by different conditions to see or to hear or to smell or to think or to touch. Exactly the same. Learn to understand the ultimate truth of a reality which arises to experience by conditions. So whenever it arises, it has to experience, no matter what the object is. But the nature of it is the reality which experiences an object when it arises. Just arise to experience the object and fall away instantly, no matter seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. But the arising and falling away so very rapidly, unknowingly. So it seems like there are many things altogether instantly, all the time. But in truth, just one moment, split moment, second moment, see what is there. There must be a reality which arises and experiences the object. Otherwise, there cannot be any world at all. No experiencing at all. No world at all. So it is the reality which arises and experiences the object. But the object is not that which is seen and heard and smelled. Different moments, that's all. Can thinking be something else which does not experience an object?
No, it's his task to think.
Yeah, so it's no one. It is no one at all. But it's different from seeing because the object is different. But the reality which experiences just arise to experience an object, no matter what, because it experiences So there must be the object which is experienced, but no thought about the reality which arises and experience the object at moment of seeing right now. Attention attend to only that which is seen or experienced. No thought about that which arises and experiences the object which is seen. From birth to death, each moment, from moment to moment, never to return, never to arise again. So what appears as permanent is not permanent at all. Different ones at a time, arising and falling away, because condition, whatever is that, just to arise. As soon as it has arisen, it's gone. No more condition for it to arise again. Only once in samsara, never be the same one. This moment is just so there can be the understanding of the reality which experiences the object at any time. It can be at moment of thinking. It thinks, it experiences the object of thinking. That's all. And seeing is the reality which arises and experiences, but different object by different conditions. That's all. From moment to moment. And even there's no object appearing through the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, there can be that which is thought about right now. It's there. More than seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, because it arises to experience by way of thinking, not seeing, not hearing. The object which has been experienced. That's why the object is known as something, the bird or the flower or the wall. See, it's only that which does not see, but that which is seen.
Yes, Ajahn.
And this is Dhamma. Dhamma is whatever is real. It has its characteristic, its nature to be known that it's real. Like hardness, it's hard. It cannot be anything else at all. And it's conditioned to arise to be different degrees of hardness. Not anyone, no one can make it arise at all. It's already there. So how can it be made or created by anyone? In truth, there's no one at all. Just a moment of the reality arisen and fallen away instantly by conditions. That's all. Gone. See, this moment is not just a moment ago.
Gabby, you asked about the comment that you'd heard Ajahn mention before about nutriment or nutrition for the thinking. So the citta now needs support conditions, nutriment, like pasa is a nutriment condition. Without pasa contacting the object, then citta cannot arise. And without manasikara tending to the object, the citta cannot arise. So for a moment of thinking, it's just like for seeing or hearing, there has to be the object that the thinking thinks about. There has to be the contacting of that object. Hope that's better. There has to be the contacting of that object. There has to be to the object, and so on. Many different Chaitasikas arising to support the Chitta to experience the object.
Sorry, Sarah. Not better than before. It's a bit worse. Sorry.
Okay, I just turn my video.
Yeah. This one better. Yeah.
Oh, this one better. Better now.
Yeah, but sometimes it's yeah, so soft too.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
I think my weak connection is a bit weak.
You're very low, Sarah. Very, very low.
I'll just pause it for a moment.
And only you, I think, which is low. Yeah, I'm fine. What's wrong?
เสียงท่านอาจารย์ชัดนะคะเสียงคุณจรก็ชัดค่ะ
เสียงคุณจิ๋วชัดค่ะ เสียงคุณซาร่าเบามาก
อาจูกำลังบอกไปที่มูลนิธิค่ะ
ค่ะ
I'll just try again.
Yeah,
Is it
now
any
okay.
Yeah, that's much better,
better
Sarah.
now or the same?
Much
Yeah.
better.
A little better. Okay.
now.
Yeah, I think my connection was a bit unstable. It needs the support of other Chaitasikas. It needs passa, which is nutriment for each Chitta to arise, to contact the object, Sikara to attend, Sanya to mark the object, and so on. Okay, my connection is dropping out, so I'll let Jonathan continue.
So now, is there enough understanding of the reality which experiences the object every moment? See, not yet. Until there is attention, attending to the nature which experiences. It doesn't have any shape, no form, no sound at all. Only that which arises and experience. And when it appears as it is, nothing can be there. Nothing can arise with it. Just the reality which out of anything arises and experience the object. Little by little, it can be thought about, it can be attended, it can be studied, it can be not forgotten. So very, very little by little, so gradually, very subtly. That's why it takes quite a long time to understand the distinction between seeing and that which is the object of seeing. See, only that which impinges on the eye base. Is it so subtle? Just a moment, only one moment. From moment to moment, it conditions the appearing of the shape and form by different colors, short or long, low or high, black or white, until it appears as something atta instantly, so very quickly. That's the way it works, the way it is. It's conditioned to arise and false way. So at moment of experiencing it, it has to be just like that. Not anything as before. Only that which experience arising and falling away. So very rapidly different from that which is experienced one by one. That's why learn to have the first round of the noble truth. The way it is, nobody can change. But there can be a little more of considering the truth of what is there, one by one. The reality which experiences the object is not that which appears as different color, people or things, sound or smell or taste. And those reality cannot appear at all without seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, the reality which experiences it. Otherwise, it cannot appear. Learn to have firm confidence of the truth, little by little. It's the only way to get closer and closer to the truth of what is there, as we have said right now. Seeing is not that which is seen. It's not thinking. It's not hearing. Just a moment. So without the reality which arises and experiences the object, how can there be anything or any world at all? No one, nothing. But that which arises and experiences the object is not permanent at all, by conditions. So very short, beyond expectation. But is it true to understand the first truth of the vulnerable truth? Understanding the truth of what is there right now is the only way to just wearing away ignorance and attachment to that which appears as something atta in life from moment to moment, until the understanding of the truth gradually letting go or wearing away ignorance and idea about seeing right now and that which is seen right now. Until right understanding can penetrate to the truth of what we have talked about right now. Exactly the same as we're talking about. It has a reason. It says it's gone because the moment of hearing is not the moment of seeing. Shorter than that, quicker than that. So amazing. Thinking about the truth, the hidden truth of this moment.
I've done a restart, so fingers crossed. And Gabby, the thinking now, no matter whether it's thinking about the past or the future, or thinking with worry, or thinking with attachment, with pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling, it's just the way it is. It's conditioned just the way it is, not my thinking that should be different. It's just a Dhamma, different Dhammas arising by conditions, falling away, not lasting for a moment. It seems there's been some crazy thinking for half an hour, but actually the thinking is just for a moment, one chitta, no matter with pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling. Usually we have a problem with the thinking with unpleasant feeling, the thinking with worry, the thinking with fear. But any kind of thinking is just thinking, gone instantly. So it's not about changing it or making it different or thinking it should be another way. Just understanding it as it is, just another conditioned Dharma like seeing or hearing. That has to be the way it is. And we know most of the day there is ignorance and clinging, and that's why there's anxiety and unpleasant feeling following it. That's how it is. One moment at a time. And the thinking with worry 5 minutes ago or just before the Zoom, it's all gone. It's all gone. What about now at a moment of understanding, at a moment of detachment, at a moment of equanimity, no disturbance at all? So the only real medicine is understanding, a little more understanding, a little more understanding, but not anyone who can understand or who can change the way life is, who can change the world as it is at this very moment. And as we know, the problems, the akusala, has to be like that for a very long time. Same for everyone. But it's always just for a moment. Just like it seems the pain lasted a long time or the fear lasted a long time, whatever it is, it's just a moment. Usually no one minds about the pleasant feeling with attachment, but the attachment is a problem too. The clinging is a problem. The ignorance is a problem anytime. Any more comments on any of the points that have been mentioned so far, Gabby?
Thank
We're not
you.
hearing. Yes.
Yes, thank you. No, it's for the time, it's okay. Thank you.
Very glad to hear you bringing up the topic. It's helpful for everyone too.
Good.
It's gone. Where is it now? Cannot be found anymore. Just once in samsara. All gone.
Yes, Ajahn. Yes. Mhm. Mhm.
Hello.
And the microphone is on again. Then the microphone is on. Very soon.
Yes, could everyone be careful to keep your microphones turned off if you're not speaking? Usually Jonathan and I are moderators, but the switch hasn't been turned on, so everyone has to be a bit more careful. Thank you. Does anyone else have any question or topic they'd like to bring up?
Sarah, thinking, when we use the word thinking, we usually think in terms of words, don't we? But there's lots of different types of thinking, isn't there? Like even the coffee mug is a combination of seeing and thinking, even though we don't call it coffee mug, there is the idea of something. So that's also a type of thinking. So there are lots of different types of thinking, isn't there? But we tend to think of the word, when we talk about thinking, it's usually thinking in words. So I'm just wondering what other types of thinking there are apart from thinking in words.
Well,
I think
when dreaming, of course, a lot of mental images.
Yes, that's a
They
good
can also,
option. Yeah,
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 they can
lots
also
of
be thinking about smells or tastes or touch.
yes, and that's and it's not there, the taste or the touch isn't there. Yes, so that's a good example. But I guess that's happening a lot. That sort of process of thinking is happening every moment, and it's not just in words, because the animal must think, but it doesn't know language, so it doesn't think in words. So presumably the animal can't have so much worry or about the past or the future, because that's usually in words, isn't
The bliss of ignorance.
it? Yes, yes. But also, I
but
think when we see, we have the idea of something is further away than something else. So that's also thinking, isn't it? Because what is seen isn't far or near.
it's just what is visible. And when you mention about, oh, thinking is coffee and mug and words, but actually this is not thinking. This is the concepts, the ideas that are thought about. So thinking isn't coffee or mug or images. It's just the citta which arises and experiences the object, no matter whether it's ko or an
Right.
image or impression or visible object. And it's just
Yeah.
the same for animals. So even though there's no words, it's still thinking of what's seen, what's heard, what's touched, what's liked, what's disliked. And the concepts don't have to be in words at all. Like after seeing, immediately after the idol process, there's the impression of shape, the impression of form, no words at all. So it's thinking of an idea, a concept about what's seen or heard or touched. Thinking isn't coffee mug.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah,
see what you
yeah,
mean. Yeah, it's
yeah.
the coffee mug doesn't have a characteristic, but thinking does.
Thinking is the reality, the chitta, the nama
Yeah.
that experiences. Coffee mug is just an idea, just a story. And the same with
So,
the images when dreaming or
so
the
how do we
sounds or the words.
define mind door then? Because seeing is different from the sense door is different from the mind door, but the mind door is it's a bit hard to differentiate it. What can we say about the mind door? Because it's thinking is perhaps not comprehensive enough, is it? Have you got what would you say the mind door is? It's
So
experience through the mind door.
the chittas through the sense doors only experience the sense object, visible object, sound, taste, smell, or tangible object. But through the mind door, there can be the experiencing of any object, reality, or concept. And it is the kusala and akusala chittas that think about the object that is experienced.
So can thinking have its a reality as its object?
Yes, like even the kusala and akusala chittas in the idol process have visible object as object, and even the first kusala or akusala chittas in the mind door have the same visible object or sound as object. We know it's nimitta, but it's still the same reality, the characteristic of the same reality that's experienced. So through the mind door, the object can be a reality or a concept, or it could be nibbana. Nibbana is a reality through the mind door. So any object can be experienced through the mind door.
And I
But
think
Alan,
yeah.
but we do understand that if concept is the object, it can't be the sense door. So whenever there's concept as object, then that's when it's the mind door.
Yes, yes. I suppose that's a definition of the mind or when it's not sensed or but there's an object there.
It's one of the objects that can only be experienced through the mind door, but the other objects can also be experienced through the mind door. So when we talk about thinking, but like at the moment of enlightenment when nibbana is object, we don't call the lokuttara chittas thinking, but it's just a word to indicate that it's chitta that experiences the object, the idea or the object that is experienced.
And that the word cheetah is sometimes referred to as mind, isn't it? The reality which experiences. I think I've seen that.
It's often translated as mind, but do we call seeing mind? Do we call hearing mind? So any chitta at any moment experiences its object as the chief and experiencing. Bhavanga chitta, is that mind? So that's why it's helpful to consider what chitta really is.
And I
Like
think
now, there's
you've used the word photocopy, haven't you? That what is seen is goes through the mind or after the sense door, and that's kind of
it's
like
like a
a photocopy.
perfect image, a perfect replica, a
Yeah.
photocopy. Yes.
Which we know when we dream, it's kind of that's what it is, isn't it? It's thinking about what is seen and touched.
then it's definitely thinking about the
Thinking, yeah.
idea, the concept. It's not the reality, it's the idea of what has been seen or heard. But
Yeah.
if there hadn't been the object that had been seen or heard, there couldn't be the thinking about what is seen and what is heard and the stories about it and the different ideas of coffee mug and so on.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Alan, the
Yeah.
idea of photocopy applies to the mind or immediately following the sense door. That's where
Yes.
it's a photocopy of that particular rupa.
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
it's being. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
we read the visible object appears through the sense door or the mind door, but we know that actually the visible object has fallen away, so it can't actually be the visible object itself because it's gone, but it's the perfect replica that appears through the mind door in the
Yeah.
first or second processes,
Yeah.
not when dreaming. That is the idea.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Thank you.
last, just briefly before I get to Liang, so you were asking about Vipassana. So the V is clear, so special or clear, and the Vipass is the seeing. So it's the special seeing or special insight of realities. So when we talk about understanding now, as we were last time, understanding of what is seen now, or what is heard, or the thinking now, it's not the clear, special understanding. It's the, as Ajahn mentioned, the first round, the considering, the wise understanding of what is seen, what is heard now, but it has to develop on and on until it is the clear understanding, the vipassana. Liang, go ahead.
Thank you, Sarah. สวัสดีค่ะอาจารย์ Hello everyone. Sarah, what Ellen was asking so far made me have a question. I have to use conventional word to be able to understand the question. What the difference between human thinking and animal thinking? Because it seems to me that in general, humans have deeper thinking than animal in general, but not all cases.
What
Am I
about
right? And what what condition that made this difference?
so the Dhamma is the Dhamma study is the understanding of realities, not the understanding of humans and animals and insects. So seeing now, no matter the insect seeing or our seeing, it's just seeing, even though we can say what is seen is different, but it's still just visible object that's seen. And the thinking now and the thinking a moment ago, the thinking of what has gone or the thinking of visible object now, it's still just thinking, or whether it's thinking with panya or thinking with ignorance, it's still just thinking. So the reality is just the same, but it may, sometimes it's kusala thinking, sometimes it's akusala thinking, depending on the cetasikas that arise with it. Sometimes it's very wise thinking. Sometimes it's just a little bit of wise consideration. So rather than thinking of the animals thinking or the humans thinking, the most precious understanding is the understanding of just the Dhamma, just thinking, just the citta which thinks, no matter what it thinks about past, future, purple elephants, oceans in the background, it's still just thinking.
And Liang, I don't know what you mean by deeper thinking, but wouldn't you say an ant communicating with another ant is something we humans wouldn't understand, right?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe because we don't understand. That's why we think that, oh, yeah, because like animal, they cannot do anything. For example, wholesome human can do like very very bad, like produce weapons or like world war but animal less dangerous than human.
Or more killing, more hurting, more harming. It
Yeah.
depends. Yes.
Yeah,
Lots
yeah,
of
No
strong
animals.
akusala.
yeah,
Lots
yeah,
of killing and hurting. Yes.
yeah.
So that's why we talk about the jitas, the Chaitasikas, and the Rupas.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we just compare different stories about lions and tigers and ants and humans. But thinking is thinking. Akusala is akusala. Lobha is lobha.
Yeah, yeah.
Fear
Thank you,
about the
Sarah.
past. Fear about the baby kittens. It's just different dhammas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it seems like when we have a kitten, it seems like we care more than its mother, you know.
And when
Human
the
will
kitten
care. Yeah, yeah.
and when the kitten is removed, who cries more, the mother or us? I think the mother.
Really? Oh,
Go round and round and round looking for the lost kittens.
okay, okay. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Dosa is dosa. Thinking
yeah,
is
yeah.
thinking.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, yeah. So can yeah gave a reasonable reason too because we don't understand their language. That's why we just assume that they have less thinking than the yeah. But thinking is thinking. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Betty. Yeah, thank
There
you.
cannot
After
be life without thinking.
Yeah,
There cannot be
Yeah.
life at all. There cannot be movement, an eye movement, or hand movement, or nothing. There cannot be any living without thinking.
Yeah.
yeah.
after the idle process, there's thinking for Wankachitas and then thinking. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. It's good for me to remember that thinking is quite short, you know. Yeah. Or
A
record.
moment.
Yeah,
Always a moment.
yeah,
Whatever we're talking about is just for a moment.
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Not my thinking or the animal's thinking, just thinking for a moment and then gone.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Go
Thank
ahead, Betty.
Yes, thank you. Is my mic on? Let me see. Ah, yes, it is. Okay. I was having a discussion with my son, the monk, and, and I tried to explain realities, and he thinks that is a theory, not real. And he told me to go read the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, which of course contains all the main teachings of the Buddha. And I did, and I found uh, one, I guess, translation of this sutta from the Digha Nikaya by the Burma Pitaka Association. And they did an excellent job because, for instance, for and the question I have is, it's always the everything's always expressed in concepts. For instance, when they talk about the parts of the body to contemplate about, and notice they don't say meditation, although at the very beginning they talk about concentrating on the breath. But that's another story. Okay. Anyway, the question that I have is because this particular translation from this Dhammapitaka organization, have all kinds of footnotes from the commentaries, which refer to the same print. For instance, like they have when they talk about the body, they mention all these horrible things in the body, the bile, the feces, this and that and the other thing. But at the very end of the paragraph, it always says something like, "But this is not him." And then they have a footnote. And of course, you go look at the footnote, and it confirms that it is where the thinking is really should be in realities rather than concepts like bile or feces or whatever else is in the body, for instance. So I'm really impressed with this particular translation of the sutta because it does go back to the commentaries which support all of the teachings of Tanya Chan. And so I just wanted to bring that up.
And I know we've discussed this before, why is the Tipitaka, or why are so many of the sutras expressed in concept terms rather than in reality? It's because people basically just understand the concepts. But what I don't understand, and I have to ask my son, and I guess I can ask it here, because the question is, how will contemplation of panyati, such as bile and feces and all this stuff, of the body, create conditions for understanding anatta to arise? Not that I want to, but for people who don't know Abhidhamma, for people who don't know reality, and they believe that the sutta is literal, I would like to ask them how that question. How would how can I give some nice good questions for my son to get him to see the realities?
Just a quick thought on this, Betty. Are you sure that the sutta says that contemplating the parts of the body creates conditions for insight, or is it the case
yes,
that
it does. It does, because
is
the
it the
Buddha.
case that for the person who is in the habit of contemplating the parts of the body, that it illustrates how there can be that contemplation can be the object of understanding?
So it can be.
Well, obviously the contemplation can, but I'm just questioning whether the sutta says that to roughly paraphrase how I think you were interpreting it. If you want to develop insight, then you should contemplate the parts of the body. I don't think that's the effect of the sutta. I think the effect of the sutta is if you contemplating parts of the body, there can also be the development of awareness and understanding.
Betty, I
yes.
think if I'm correct, I think the sutta, Satipatthana Sutta, is the case of the Buddha addressing monks. So there are many monks with many different daily life, contemplations and all that. So he was pointing out each and every thing that various monks did in daily life. So, say, suppose he was talking to you, he wouldn't be talking about that, what you just referred to. He might be talking, say, that while sitting in a Zoom discussion, what are the realities? So it's just talking to the monks about their daily life and the reminder about understanding realities.
Like,
Yeah, okay.
If you see a skeleton or are on a charnel ground or put on a robe or go to the bathroom, they're still seeing, they're still hearing, there's still different rupas that are being experienced, which are taken for the body. So actually, it's just talking about the realities in daily life. As Sukin said, it could be now we're in the Zoom discussion or when eating lunch, still seeing, still hearing, still hardness that's touched. So you can ask your son, what about now? Is there seeing now? Is seeing real now? Or is it just an idea? Is hardness touched now? Is there hardness or is it just imagined? If there was no hardness, could there be the idea of a phone or a computer? So it has to come back to this moment, because the more understanding there is of what is real now, the hardness that is touched now, sound that is heard now. Is the sound or is it just imagined? This is the way that gradually one can read the suttas and appreciate the Buddha's talking about realities anytime, in any situation, whilst reflecting on breath or whilst thinking about the foulness of the body or whilst going to the bathroom or whilst getting dressed, still just different dhammas.
That's right. That's right.
Now.
Totally.
And the
I just,
commentary to the sutta makes it very clear that
yes,
it's
it
just about
does.
different realities, no one there at all,
Right. All the
no being
commentary. And
there.
that's what I like about this particular translation, because they put in all of these commentaries as footnotes, and they have it there. And I'm going to tell my son to read this one. But anyway, yes, but that you're absolutely correct. Talk about now.
I mean, one can read the sutta and he can argue with his interpretation, and you can point the commentary notes, but the understanding has to be now, not the words, not the
Right.
terms, but
Exactly.
what
Yeah.
can be tested out now, because life is now. Is there any sound heard now?
Hmm.
Is there any hearing at this moment? Is a pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling? Any worry now? Life is at this moment no body, no self, no bile, just different dhammas at this moment that are being experiencing or being experienced. Thinking now. Thinking is real, but the coffee mug is imagined, is thought about, it's not a reality.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I think I understand
Has to
the
come back now. Otherwise, it just becomes an argument about
Yes,
what was
exactly.
his interpretation and
Exactly.
yours. So bring it back to this moment. Yes.
Yes, thank you. All right, I'll try that with him. Thanks so much.
With
Okay.
metta.
With metta, sure, because I do. Yes, absolutely with metta.
Then it's not, it doesn't become a heated argument. It's just
Right,
a
right.
friendly exchange. What about now?
Mm,
Yes.
right. Thanks so much, Sarah.
And Alan, I remember at the end of the last discussion, and there was a bit of discussion about science and just different ideas that are thought about. And it's just the same when you talk to your sons about what is reality now. And you mentioned the TV is so complicated, but actually just different ideas. It's just thinking about different ideas, just like coffee mugs, just the same. It doesn't actually matter whether the thinking of us about the what happened in the past or the coffee mug or the complicated TV. It's just thinking with ignorance and attachment, just the same.
Mhm. But it's amazing how that scientists are that many scientists can't listen or even begin to listen to um, Dharma reality because they're so attached to science. So it can prevent somebody from listening. Not not all cases, but a lot. They cannot listen even for 5 minutes.
It's just the same with Betty's son, attached to one's own ideas or one's own interpretations or one's own theories about what is truth, what is right. Just the same, no matter it's science or another interpretation of the Dhamma or anything else,
Yes.
clinging
And I
to
Yeah.
think
one's
So,
perhaps
own ideas.
one of the
so
answers to Betty's question really was that on the Satipatthana is that there has to be an object of Satipatthana, and unless that object is understood, Satipatthana can't develop. And the object of Satipatthana is a reality. And the Buddha said that all realities are dukkha, anatta, anicca, impermanent, unsatisfactory, not self. So unless that's understood intellectually, the difference between a reality and an idea, then there can be no beginning to Satipatthana. I suppose that's how I might answer that question.
and
And then he
Alan,
may
uh,
argue about that too. So that's why one has to come back to just discussing what is real at this moment, like hardness now. Is a
Yeah,
computer
yeah.
real or is hardness that is
I think
touched?
that's and also that's immediate. And that was one characteristic of the Dharma is that it's immediately verifiable. I seem to remember reading that. And that if you talk about hardness, people get that. they can understand that that is
Yes.
touch and that
Whereas if you
sound is
just
heard.
exactly, whereas if you just say to him, "Oh well, the object of Satipatthana has to be a reality," and he has no idea what a reality is, and anyway, he won't agree with that. So that's why it
Yes,
has to
yes,
be
I get your
immediate,
point.
here and now. Otherwise,
The
it's just
here and
another
now is
argument.
yes, you're right. It's focusing the attention towards what is now. That's unless there is that, it's the story just arguing about ideas. But yeah, it has to be what is right now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
And Alan, wouldn't you say that a scientist wouldn't start arguing about the Satipatthana Sutta as what Sarah was just pointing to, right? So I think the problem, it's a scientist who has not heard the Dhamma may be in a better position than a Buddhist who's heard and have a wrong understanding.
Yes. Yes, I think so. I think, and as you're right, the scientists actually, most scientists won't be listening to the Dharma. They'll be listening to a misinterpretation of it. So that's already implanted in their mind that a religion isn't science, but actually this is quite different. So they would have never been exposed to it before. So that's quite hard. But yeah, I think you're right. It's not even a question of whether you're a scientist or a Buddhist. Yeah, I get that. I think that's an important point. It's a question of whether you can listen or not, and that doesn't depend even on Buddhists as we see can't listen to the truth. So yeah, it's just a question of that attachment to ideas which can prevent you from listening, whether you're Buddhist or a scientist or a psychologist even. Yeah.
Just the same, it's just ignorance and wrong understanding. Even for friends who come here, they have no interest in Satipatthana Sutta, they have no interest in meditation, but still other wrong understanding and ignorance about the truth. So that's why it has to just come back to what is real now. Doesn't matter what names are given. One doesn't have to use any Pali terms. One doesn't have to quote any suttas, but begin to understand about what is real at this very moment. And
Yes. Yeah.
those realities that experience and those that don't, in order to understand no one here, no thing here. And friends can appreciate that. They can appreciate that there are just these different elements, those elements that experience an object and those that don't, but no one to be found, no thing to be found.
And as you just reminded Betty, it has to be with metta, because with metta, then you're bound to consider more what to say to that person, whether hear more intently what that person is saying and where he's coming from, and then
Exactly.
You'll have the right things to say.
Yeah. What is
Yes.
the appropriate language, not
Yes.
just using one's own, trying to use one's own terminology or one's own
Yeah.
quotes, but what is actually helpful, simple language that they can respond to. So
Yeah.
instead of quoting from suttas, we give examples from swimming or whatever is interesting to the person.
Yeah.
It's just daily
And
life.
that is well, it's an impossibility for the ordinary person, isn't it? Because you can't have you don't know whether this moment is kusala or akusala precisely. So it's very difficult to understand whether you're speaking with metta or not, with kindness or not.
There can be a beginning. No, I mean it's not that, far from us. We have heard some. We begin to understand little by little. We're not talking about Satipatthana, but
Yeah.
anger is anger. I mean,
Yes.
mana is mana.
Yeah.
It can still be seen and can be a pakatupanisya pachay for some kusla at that very moment.
Yes, I mean we should be speaking Dharma with kindness. and with compassion and with an understanding of when is the right time to speak as well. But of course, we cannot control the moments of kindness or compassion, and we can get angry, even though that is against everything we're speaking about. But because each moment is beyond control. So unless, as the understanding of what this moment is becomes higher, then you will speak better about the Dharma. But meanwhile, to speak with kindness, that's what we know, but it's an ideal that actually is achieved little by little over a period of time.
And
So
we
what you're
can
saying
know
is that we'll be making mistakes, and even that is nothing to fret about. So just
Yeah,
keep on going,
we
right?
will make mistakes with our speaking according to the level of understanding we have, and then it will get better and better and better. Even like now, when Sarah's talking about what is life right now and not getting tied up in concepts. So we're learning a little bit more about what is important to speak about, which is helpful to speak to others about the Dharma. But we have to be aware that we cannot have metta at wills, and it's very difficult to understand when there is metta and when there is attachment. So it's an ideal that we speak with kindness, but actually it's quite tricky to always speak with kindness.
one point is when there's consideration for the other, when there's kindness for the other, instead of just trying to get our own idea across, just wanting them to think in the right way like we do. So when it's just considering their needs or what would be helpful for them to hear, then that's all. We don't
Yes,
have
yeah.
to analyze whether it's metta or attachment or how we should speak, but just consider what is helpful. And
Well, there's also
that's it.
another aspect to this is, especially in this case, speaking to a monk, the monk, of course, has mana, and he thinks he knows better than the layperson about the Dhamma. So you have to be really careful when you're speaking to to a monk, because they do have that sense of mana, that they
It's not just the monk, the scientist thinks he knows better, the
yeah, the
psychologist think
scientist
they
as
know
well.
better, the meditator thinks they know better because they've had so much calm and peace and so on. So
Yeah.
it's just the same, it's the same, I think, yes. So
Probably.
sometimes one just has to be quiet because one can just say a few words sometimes to help the other consider. Just
Yes.
ask a question or two, let them consider.
Mhm.
Like for the friends who came here, actually it's just the same, but we can talk about seeing now. Can anyone control seeing? Can anyone make seeing arise or not? And some people said yes. So then we discussed it. What about thinking now? Can anyone choose what the thinking will think about next? Does anyone know what the thinking will think about? So just little by little understanding dharmas to understand that they're anatta. In truth, no bhikkhu, no scientist, no psychologist, just different dharmas arising and falling away, each one gone instantly. So back to this moment, always. Gillian, you're very busy there. Would you like to bring up any of your topics? Bring up one or two, read out one or two of your notes for discussion?
Well, we use words, we're communicating. I hear them, I see them, and then I go off in my mind with remembering them, and then I think about what they mean, and then I think that's what I mean about the treacherous sea of words. You could get buried in it or drowned in it, but actually it doesn't really matter if you don't know the meaning of the word. Anyway, it's a fascinating thing for me. I don't know if like we use words, don't we? That's how we speak here. but it's something else. It's our understanding and our wisdom and our experience that puts a value on the words. That's
And in truth, are the words realities, or is it just the thinking that is the reality?
well, the word is what I see or hear.
Really?
Which, isn't it?
Can words
I mean,
be heard?
Good question, Sarah. I don't know. I think I'm hearing your words.
Can words be seen?
I can see them in the chat.
If there was no thinking, could words be seen? Could the sounds be
Oh,
heard?
no. Okay.
No.
All right.
So
okay. Yes.
just what is
meaning
visible
that
that is seen, and then instantly there's thinking about the shapes, the patterns, the words, the meanings, and it's just sounds that are heard, but so quickly there's the idea about the voice, the different kind of sounds, the patterns, the words, and another story. If you didn't speak English, nothing would be understood about the words. So it's the thinking about what is seen, the thinking about what has been heard because of memory that conditions the thinking of these words or those words.
And the baby
So,
would hear the same thing and see the same thing, but not know that those are words heard or words written.
yeah.
we live in the world of thinking about different ideas, different concepts, different stories all the time. And it can be
And
wise thinking, but mostly it's unwise thinking. So, as Jonathan put in the note, it's not actually the words that are treacherous, but it's the thinking with clinging, the thinking with ignorance that is treacherous,
yes.
the ignorance and
Yes.
attachment that is so treacherous. Let's see if
Yes.
Jan would like to add any comments to any of these
Can I say a
discussions.
little more
Yeah, go on.
about this? I think I've heard somebody in one of the Thai talks, Achan, referring to the ocean of concepts and all that. And then she made a note that it's not really the concepts in the teachings. They talk about the ocean of ignorance and
Exactly.
attachment. So it's the problem is the ignorance and attachment, not the thinking, not the concepts.
Without ignorance and attachment, no thinking about all the words in unhelpful way. Yes. The ocean of concepts refers to the thinking with ignorance about this and that story endlessly, what happened in the past, what will happen in the future, what are the backdrops, who are the people on the screen. This is the ocean of concepts. Jan, would you like to add any more to any of these topics that have been discussed?
Can you hear me now?
It's clear. We're all speaking clearly now. Go ahead, Jan.
I just talked to the screen, no one there at all again. Okay, I think that there can be a little more understanding of the ultimate truth or just one reality at a time if we pay attention to the truth little by little. For example, satipatthana, see, is it easy to understand? Is it just a word? Or what is the meaning of patthana and the meaning of sati? See, to really understand what is sati, which is not satipatthana, or what is the object, which is not patthana. See, a little more of understanding the differences between sati and patthana. See, the three meanings of satipatthana without any understanding at all. There can never be the understanding of the truth of it. That's why paying respect or listen respectfully to the truth. The truth is the truth, which is so very deep. We can talk about any reality right now, but when we heard the word satipatthana, can there be a little more understanding of satipatthana by different ways, little by little? For example, what is patthana for sati? For those who learned Pali, they can know what is it. But what about the truth of it? Not just the word, not just the word patthana, the translation, the meaning, but what is the truth of it? What is the truth, the nature of patthana? Thana, dana, what is it?
อาจารย์ป
Can
ระ
be
ธานา
like the basis, the
Foundation,
foundation, yeah.
the foundation. So it's the object for sati, the foundation of sati.
What is it?
That which is needed for sati to experience, which is needed
So
for.
what is it real? Is it a reality? And what is it? And why it is satipatthana? See, a little more understanding.
It has to be reality. The foundation for sati has to be the reality which is directly understood at that moment. And so the three kinds of satipatthana, three meanings, refer to the reality, the sati, which is aware of reality. And the second refers to the object of sati, the object that has to be understood, the reality itself. And the third refers to the way that those who became enlightened, those who followed the development of satipatthana. This is the third meaning.
It's patthana right now.
Panachan, I was thinking that it must be all three meanings, which Sarah just referred to. And I was thinking that this direct understanding cannot arise without intellectual understanding. So it must be starting with pariyati. So when you just ask, is it patthana now? In a way, we can say that it is, in the sense that it is the starting of the development that is needed to reach that direct understanding. But it's not yet the direct understanding. Panachan.
So what is the object of satipatthana and what is satipatthana, not just only sati? See, the understanding of the three meanings of satipatthana. Sati itself is sati, but how can it be? Satipatthana is the path leading to understanding the truth. The path Buddha developed,
อาจาร
and
ย์
everyone developed to understand the truth. So what is the object of satipatthana and what is satipatthana, not just only sati?
yeah
It has to be. Go ahead, Liang.
yeah thank you อาจารย์the to your question I don't think that now there is patthana yet or although all reality can be patthana but it's not patthana at this moment yeah because of the level of understanding it's not the level of direct understanding yet yeah because even though we can say that all reality can be patthana at any moment in the future maybe but at this at this time, at this level, it's not upatana yet.
So when it will be?
When it will be satipatthana, when it become object, when a reality become the object of understanding.
When will sati be satipatthana?
When sati have reality as object and it's seen by the understanding, clearly understood as what it is.
So when there's not yet the understanding of the reality which experiences the object and no understanding of the nature of the object as not atta or something, can that be satipatthana?
No, not at all.
When will it be?
It's anatta when the level of understanding it reach one level that the right understanding can be conditioned to arrive as direct understanding of the reality.
So what is sati?
Sati is Chitasika, is a mental state.
At moment of giving, is it sati?
Yeah.
Is it satipatthana?
We always forgot.
Can it be satipatthana at that moment of giving?
No. No.
So what moment can it be satipatthana?
When the reality is the objects and direct understanding arise at that moment.
So can there be satipatthana at moment of giving?
At giving, no, because at giving most of the time we have like panyat as human or animal as the object, and it's conditioned mostly for giving.
While talking about Dhamma or satipatthana, can there be satipatthana?
Talking about Dhamma, not really. Not really.
So we have to understand what satipatthana is. When can it arise? When will it arise?
When it's enough condition, like firm understanding until it reach its level.
So what is there now, right now? What is there?
There is the hidden truth, like seeing and color, but it's still hidden.
Just one word, one reality. What is there right now?
Sound is there.
Okay. Can it be satipatthana?
No.
What is the meaning of satipatthana? What does satipatthana mean?
Satipatthana means one sound is the object of right understanding at the level of direct understanding.
Can sound be patthana of sati, satipatthana?
Yes. It
So
can.
when will
That's
it
not
be?
now.
No, the question is not is it now, but can it be now?
Can it be now? No,
Why?
because not enough understanding,
So
not enough
when will
condition.
it be object of Satipatthana?
We don't know because it's anatta, but we only know that one direct understanding arise.
But the question is whether it can it be object of Satipatthana?
Yeah, it can.
And
In the
can it be
future,
object? Can it be object now? Not
No.
is it, but can it be?
no, not now.
I mean, not for you, Liang. It's just general. It's
We're
not
talking
particularly
generally.
talking about
Can
you.
it be?
Yeah.
If there's understanding, can it be the object now?
Yeah. Like
It
when
can.
people
And what
is
about giving a gift to someone? Can it be at that time?
giving a gift,
Can
like
there be satipatthana at that time?
yeah, because when we talk about giving a gift, we talk in a combination,
So it can be then. What about when going to the bathroom? What about when turning off the Zoom? It's just like
Yeah.
seeing can be anytime, hearing
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
anytime,
Yeah.
wise considering can be anytime, direct understanding can be anytime.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah.
What about
Liang, I think what you meant earlier was that the object of giving is a being. So a being is a concept. So that moment is not satipatthana. But I think Achan is asking is that can there be satipatthana of the giving or
because
any other reality following that moment?
anytime, because we're just talking about a moment.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
now, we're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about a moment, turning on the Zoom, turning off the Zoom, when speaking
Yeah.
in a cross way. There can be satipatthana can arise
Yeah,
any
yeah.
moment.
Yeah, because when we
Pop
talk,
in any time, just like attachment or anger can pop in any time. So
yeah,
satipatthana can pop in any time.
yeah, because when we talk about each moment, yes, but when we talk about giving thing to other, because we can see that the reality only seeing and visible object, hearing and sound, yeah, smelling and audio, like smell, and then I couldn't find the even thinking. I couldn't.
Like when looking at a skeleton, or when digging a
Yeah,
grave, or
yeah,
when thinking about how foul the hair in the soup is. There can be understanding popping in
yeah,
anytime, direct understanding too.
yeah. When you
We're
talk
not
about,
talking about is it now, we're talking
yeah,
about can it be? Yes,
yeah,
anytime.
yeah.
I think the Liang question was that I understand that Satipatthana can pop up at any time, but when the moment of giving is a giving, right? But Satipatthana can arise other moment, maybe right after giving. So I think that's might be what she meant.
Yeah. When Sarah express like each moment, yeah, we clear that it can
That moment,
arise
yes, anytime,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah,
When
but
giving the gift, or when snatching it back, anytime can pop in.
yeah,
When preparing a beautiful meal, when burning the beautiful meal, anytime.
yeah, but not
Yeah.
a combination. Yeah,
yeah,
when we go to the truth,
Just
like
talking
each
about a
moment.
moment. That's
Yeah,
why when we read about those who became enlightened, anytime, any situation.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you, Sarah, for helping.
A little more understanding of Satipatthana. See, at any time there must be a reality, and the understanding of the nature of that reality is Satipatthana. So it doesn't mean that at moment of giving there cannot be Satipatthana. At this moment of talking about Dhamma, there cannot be Satipatthana, because there must be a reality each moment. And understand the nature of that with awareness at that very moment of the nature of it, developing the understanding of anatta, because what is real cannot be atta at all. So a little more understanding, firmer confidence of satipatthana. But there must be the understanding of the nature of satipatthana, not at will, only by conditions. And what level of understanding? It's not just sati is nama, panya is nama, that is rupa, and on and on. That cannot condition the direct understanding of the nature with sati at level of satipatthana, direct awareness with understanding of the truth. Gradually, little by little, from the very beginning, develop on and on, from the first round to the second round, before there can be the third round. So no one can stop the moment of satipatthana when there are conditions for satipatthana to arise at all. That is the way to understand all dhammas are anatta. A little more understanding, little by little. And it's time now, I think. Sawadee
Sawadika, Ajahn.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Jen, and
Ajahn.
everyone.
Sawadika, everyone.
ครับท่านอาจารย์
See you
Thank
next
you,
week.
everybody.
Bye.
Nice to
อ
see
นุโม
you
ทนา
all.
ท่านอาจารย์ค่ะ
See you all Monday.
Yes, yeah. Thank you คุณ Sarah คุณ Jonathan and thank
Thank
you
you, Kun
bye bye
Sapatana.